This discussion is about topic, theme, and motif. And I want to start by saying that you can assume that every text, as I have here, is trying to persuade you of something. So there's a couple preliminary points I want to make. The first thing here is that I have text in quotations because, generally speaking, by text I mean a literary text, such as a piece of prose, fiction, drama, or poetry. But in this course, we're also going to extend our understanding of text to include what we call visual rhetoric. That means any visual component that we're looking at. It could be cinematic. It could be the cover design of a particular book or edition. But text is any codified piece of information that we can begin to engage and to analyze and to understand and to decode. So if you keep text in that sense in your head, you'll be fine. And the assumption is that every text is trying to persuade us of something. In other words, I want to suggest that there's no such thing as a flat, plain text that doesn't try to persuade us. There's always something underneath, whether it's conscious or unconscious, trying to persuade us to think something, feel something, perceive something, see the world the way that that text or author sees the world. Even a mere description of a room is not objective. You have to start somewhere and end somewhere. And the moment you start somewhere in your description of a room, you are assigning priority to the first item that you bring up for your reader. And the sequencing is all a matter of choice as well. So keep in mind then that I'm not saying that every text does this, but I'm saying that it's generally pretty safe to start your analysis by looking for what the text is trying to persuade you about. So there are three terms that we need to work with. The first one is topic. Topic is not an argument. It is the general area of facts or the area of content that is under discussion. So as an example, I could say the topic of my paper is the moon. Let's do it lowercase here. There's no argument there. I'm not saying anything about the moon except this is what's under discussion. A theme, however, is in a literary or other text is an argument. So the Norton wants to suggest that theme and argument are basically the same thing. So if I say something like, if I say the moon is made of green cheese, that is not a topic, that is an opinion. And that is an argument that is going to require proof. So that's theme. Motif is a little bit different. It is a recurring pattern of any kind across a whole text. I suppose it could be across part of a text, but let's say across a whole text. So motif is not really an argument, but a motif is a way of underscoring or emphasizing the theme. What would a motif be? It could be recurring sounds, recurring symbol of a tree, a recurring sequence of behaviors that a character does. Maybe they're always rubbing their forehead and scratching their shoulder. That becomes a motif. So look for motif as a recurring pattern of any kind that alerts us to what the theme is. So those are our three main concepts when we engage a literary text, or in the broader sense, a text of any kind. I'm going to take this opportunity to make a comparison with your essays, or let's call it with criticism. And like a literary text, your essays will have a topic. That is to say, your paper will be about Othello, or whatever the short story is, depending on the assignment. Come on. That in itself is not an argument. In your paper, you will have what's called a thesis. And the thesis is, in criticism, is analogous to the theme in the text. This is your argument. And your argument, it's black here. Your argument should appear in the title. Let me put it to you another way. When I look at the title of your essays, I don't want to see a topic. So if you hand in an essay where the title of the essay is Othello, or the title of the essay is Assignment 2, or the title of the essay is comparing such and such a short story with another one, that is a very bad title. The purpose of the title is to give your reader a clue about what the thesis is, what your actual argument is going to be. And your argument really has to be substantive and has to appear at the beginning of the paper. In any kind of literary-based text, the theme can appear anywhere, early, middle, or late. We've already said that these texts have a motif, which is fine, but there is no equivalent. There is no equivalent in the essay or in criticism. You are not producing a piece of creative writing where you have to keep the reader's attention, have to capture the reader's attention and keep it. So don't worry about motif on the essay, but I just want to show you the difference between topic and theme in a text and topic and thesis in your essay.